So what is search intent, guys? Search intent is the actual meaning, the intention behind someone's search. Why is this important? Well, there's a lot of reasons why people are searching for things on Google. And if we want to show up in the results, we need to understand that meaning to show them what they're looking for. I know this is a little bit conceptual, but we're going to dive into this. We basically need to match the content that we produce on our website with the intention behind the searches in their keywords. So let me give you guys an example. If someone is looking for the keyword recipe for vegan brownies, what they're looking for most likely is a quick recipe to make those vegan brownies. Now, would it make sense for me to create a landing page where I talk about all the different books that contain vegan brownie recipes and I have links to Amazon and I have images and all the pages in the books? Probably not, right? What this user is looking for is just that recipe. They don't really care about which book it's in, about what's happening around the recipe. All they care about is a bit of context, what they need to make that recipe, and how they're gonna do it, right? A little step by step. That's where search intent matters, because if we create content that doesn't match what that user is looking for, we're not gonna be successful on Google. So what are the different types of intent? We group intents into 4 main categories. I'll be doing some searches here to show you guys the difference in results for some of these keywords, right? So I want you guys to notice the results that come up, the type of content that comes up, and how it's different for each intent. So the first one is informational, right? So these are keywords with informational intent. These are keywords where people are looking literally just for information to answer a specific question. Maybe they're looking for a helpful resource, but the main thing is they're looking for information, right? Let me give you guys an example. We can type in how to make vegan brownies as an example, and then look at what comes up, right? So we have this little section where it's showing us some recipes, but if we click into any of these, we're gonna see that it's a full blog post where they're guiding us. There's a video here, we have images, we have all these different things that are helping us understand that keyword that we typed in, how to make those vegan brownies, right? So let's try something else. Let's say how to get to the Madrid airport, right? So this is another informational type search query, right? So what we're looking at here is, again, a very long blog article. It's going to tell us all the different ways we can get there. How do we get there by bus? How do we get there by taxi, private transfer, the different stations, all of this, right? Very long form content. It's answering a question that's quite complicated, right? How do we get to the Madrid airport? But it depends where you are. It depends on your budget. How much are you willing to spend, right? So it's very hard to answer these questions in a landing page, for example, or by showing products, right? So we need to match what that user is looking for with the right type of content. Okay, so that's number 1. That's informational keyword intent. Number 2, navigational. Okay, so these are people that want to be pointed in one direction or another inside of Google, right? So let's say I type in Twitter login, then I have a link to log me into Twitter. Let's say I type in Yahoo Finance, I now have that result. That's taking me to that page. So that's navigational. It's pretty simple. People are just looking to be guided one way or another. They're looking for a specific website. Let's talk about the third one, commercial intent. So this is a user that's weighing up their options with the chance of a possible purchase in the near future. Most of the time, they're just comparing 2 products. They're comparing 2 options, 2 softwares, 2 ways of getting somewhere, right? Let me give you guys an example. So best work laptop, that's an example of commercial intent. So when we click into this, we're gonna see that this is going to be a blog post, but it's a bit of a different blog post, right? Right away, we're getting pitched a bunch of products and we're gonna see different comparisons of products, the prices, the specific technical differences. So this looks like a blog post, but it's also a very technical comparison blog post, right? So this is going to help that user understand what they're looking for a little bit more, and it's going to help them decide. So here's another one. We're going to see that once we land on this page, we're not even seeing content, we're just seeing products, right? So this is a very different blog post for that informational keyword that we just typed in, right? Very, very different. And then we have a long blog post. And now let's talk about transactional, right? So these are people ready to make a purchase. So for example, let's look up buy iPhone 12 and we're gonna see what comes up. So right away, we have Apple coming up. This is a transactional keyword. This is someone that's ready to buy some specific product, service, software, whatever it may be, right? We get this landing page where we're pointing directly into the product. It could be a product page, it could be a category page. We'll talk about e-commerce a little bit more later in the course, but we see a very, very stark difference between that first keyword that we typed in, that informational search of how to make vegan brownies, to now looking at buy iPhone 12, there's no real content here, right? Now we're just looking at the products, we're looking at the specifications, we're looking at why you should buy this one and not this other one. So this page is built for me to buy this product, right? So it's important to know all these different types of content because the keyword intent is going to decide which type of content we're going to create, right? So we need to be very aware of all the different types of content that are out there, and we need to be aware of the intents. So Ahrefs has this little table, which is actually very helpful to help you guys understand the different types of intent that could be tied to some of these keywords, right? So for informational keywords, we're going to see some modifiers like how, what, who, where. All of these modifiers are probably going to be placed before the keyword or in the middle of the keyword or at the end of the keyword. How to make vegan brownies, for example, we saw that was an informational keyword. Best laptops for work, we saw that was a commercial keyword. Transactional, we saw buy iPhone 12. That's a transactional modifier that we add to keywords to show that that's our intent, right? I hope that was easy to understand. If you guys have any questions about any topics in this course, please leave a comment. We're going to have open discussions about all of these topics, and I'll be chiming in if you guys have any questions.